letters. Think you might like to read some things that you might like to see, but they're all addressed to me. I wish I had a lot of answers, 'cause that's the way it should be. But all these questions being directed at me, I just can't find the time to write my mind the way I want it to read.
These are all about similar to master pages. You don't want to have bad practices where you put styles on every tag, find out that the style no longer applies, I use the red and blue, I'll go back to that one, and then have to go back and change the forecolor on all your controls. Especially in a situation when you know all the label controls on your site are going to use the same font, or all the buttons on your site are going to be exactly the same. What you want is a very simple, sort of centralized way to control that skin, control that look and feel of your site without having to go back and change all your code. And that's what themes provide. So with the theme, you have multiple pages, multiple controls. You have this folder, app_themes, which is one of the well-known ASP.NET 2.0 folders, similar to app_code, app_data, app_web resources, etc. And inside this theme folder, you define skin files that get mapped by the ASP.NET 2.0 runtime to your site X runtime, and style sheets and images. So any CSS files, any .skin files in the directory will automatically be applied by the 2.0 runtime for you. You don't have to click them up. The runtime knows what to do with CSS files, namely insert link tags that point to the CSS file, and knows what to do with skin files, namely look into them, see if there are any controls that are defined. Here we have label controls, and then look at your page and find out, see if there are any matches. If you have label controls, then it'll apply the properties from that skin onto those controls. So it's basically a very easy way, again, writing no code, to be able to switch between the look and feel of your site. And I'll quickly show just how simple this is. Of course, I don't want to, I'm not going to drag and drop a bunch of themes, or I'm not going to create a bunch of themes on the fly. So I have some created already. Blue, default, and red. So you can see why text references are blue and red. It's hard to example. Blue basically is the blue theme, red is the red theme, and default is green. So if we look at our site, right now we have a green look, even pre-theme. What we can do though is on the pages that we want to apply a theme to, so let's go back to our default page. Now that we have this folder, this well-known app_themes folder, we can simply go over and change, put a theme attribute on the page, and you see we get stage of completion, and we're going to select, let's select red. And we hit refresh on the default page, and now it's red. So what it did was it went through, grabbed the style sheet out of that red folder, grabbed all the images, grabbed the skin file, and just walked through the hierarchy of our site, applying the different attributes in those files to the matching elements in our pages. And so I didn't have to change any content on my site. I didn't have to write any new code. I just had to sort of have my design distributed to the themes folder, drop it in, and set a directive on the page. So I did lie. I had to change the directive on the page. If I wanted to apply this globally, so I didn't want it to go through and touch it every file, you can use the directive in web.config. And lo and behold, I have that commented out here. So we'll make that red. What happens here? And you see that now the theme is applied.
There are other parameters in there that say, hey, should there be a timeout? Like how long, what's the maximum amount of time to wait for all the work to get done? And there's also a parameter in there that says, do you want this work to run in parallel? And then when you've got that all constructed for a single piece of async work, you call the register async task method. So that's how we now know, oh, there's at least one piece of async work on this page, and we know that, assuming you don't call that execute method explicitly, when we get to the pre-render, to the page pre-render complete event, right before that event, we know, go put the page to sleep, because all this work is going to be running. And then in your begin event handler, this looks exactly like what you do with the begin end pattern. We pass in a bunch of parameters. What you do is you pass them through to the begin method, and the only extra thing you do is you pass in whatever arguments you need to the actual class that's doing the async work. the end task handler, you're going to get back that async result again. You pass it to the end method, and you do something with the results. And then the new thing